Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We are currently on my free-to-play account and there's a fusion going on at the moment for Morrigan. Now, there's a lot of struggle people are going through right now because they're saying, do I really want to go for the Morrigan fusion or do I want to hold on to some of the epics for the Ornn? Because this champion is going to be solid for the Undead faction. It's a solid champion, right? But the Ornn is going to be fantastic. If you can hold on to one or two copies, it's going to be great for the faction wars that comes out for the Sylvan Watchers. Now, he does provide a lot of poisons, he can heal himself and whatnot, but he's a great champion for that faction for sure. Now, this leads to what I do want to talk to you guys about. There's going to be a Sylvan Watchers faction coming out eventually, right? And there's also going to be a Guarantee Summons event coming out eventually, soon if anything. What I want to show you guys is this infograph that I created here, and it pretty much shows you all the champions for the Guarantees event that's came out so far. And as you can see here, it all started from Countess Lix, dating back to March 21, 2021, all the way up to last week, right, with the Fortis, or 2 weeks ago. So that's going to be all the Guarantee Summons event we've had so far, legendary champions, rare champions, epic champions, etc. Now, if you look over to the start of it, right, we had a bit of a gap in between Countess Lix and Helier, which were the first two Guarantee Summons, and that was a 3-month gap. After that, it's been pretty consistent on all the champions that have been coming out. We had another 2-month gap here. But other than those, it's been really consistent on how often they release the Guarantee Summons events. It's not always going to be a Legendary Summons event. It could sometimes even be an Epic Summons event or even a Rare Summons event here. But the more Guaranteed Summons event we had so far were of the newer champions that were released at the time. Like the Fortis that just came out, the Goffred that was out at the time. The Turvo was an older champion that they threw in there for... maybe it was part of like the Death Knight thing, right? The theme that was going on at the time. The Nekmo was one of the newer champions, Ragash was definitely one of the newer champions. Two of the more standout champions that were released in this form of Guaranteed was Kandrafon and Sissia, who are two fantastic champions for sure. And we even had a lot of great epic champions here, along with other newer champions. And some Shadowkin factions as well, right? The Genzen, the Kyoku, the Lady Kimi, which was actually the first one of its kind, right, of the faction. Now this one actually came out in September 2021, the first Shadowkin champion as a Guarantee Summons event. Now, what I want to show you here is the first time Shadowkin actually got added to the game, which was back in March 16, 2021, which was about a year and a half ago. And when this first came out, we had 3 legendary champions, 4 epic champions, 3 rares, 1 common and 1 uncommon champion. And if we go back to our in-game right now, we can see that there are a lot more champions from Sylvan faction upon release. We got 4 legendary champions, 6 epic champions, and 1 rare champion. So I guess in terms of champion count, it's pretty similar, but in terms of the legendary and epic count, Sylvan is a little bit more. So going back to this right here, again, this came out on March 16, 2021, and we didn't get our faction wars for Shadowkin until about pretty deep in, like 9 months. So this is when Shadowkin faction actually did come out in January 2022, the beginning of this year, which was, wow, it actually felt like it was a really long time ago, but yeah, it was actually pretty close. So it took about 9 months before we got our Shadowkin faction. Now, will this be the same trajectory for the Sylvan Watchers? It's possible. It's very possible, because when this first came out, a lot of people were complaining about, I don't have my Lydia yet, right? Do we still have time to get Lydia? And I don't think Plarium will put it out there so quickly, where a lot of you that still don't have Lydia will have to go through yet another one, right? Another faction. So I think they are going to be releasing it. If anything, we'll have like another 6 months from, I guess this faction just came out for Sylvan, but yeah, if anything, we'll have another 6 months at the very least. And if it's projected to be the same, it's going to be 9 months again. So that is where I'm pretty much leaning towards as far as when I think it will be released, so the Sylvan factions, that is. So I'm going to be jumping back to the Guarantee Summons now. I know I'm going all over the place right now, but it kind of ties in together, so hopefully you can bear with me. Okay, so as far as the next Guarantee Summons event, who do I think is going to be the next Guarantee Summons event? Do I think it's going to be a Sylvan Watchers champion? Again, Shadowkin faction came out in March 16, 2021. The first Shadowkin champion that was added to the Guarantee Summons was in September. So that's about, yeah, I mean, that's like 6 months away. So do I think a Sylvan Watcher champion is going to be added immediately to this list of Guarantee Summons? Again, we're probably going to get one from this month. It's possible, it's very possible, considering that there are more epics and more legendary champions. If anything, if they do a Sylvan Watchers champion, I'm kind of hoping. So if I were to be greedy, I would have to say Elva is definitely who I would like to see as a guarantee summons if they were to do Sylvan Watchers, right? If they were to pick from there. But she reminds me a lot of Sylva Drakes, except she has a cleanse instead of the AoE stun, which is pretty cool too. But I think if they were to pick from the Sylvan Watchers as the next guaranteed, it's gonna be one of these two guys. Yeah, I mean the Warwick is definitely on the lesser impressive side. King Gallic Alcobar is definitely decent, and I highly doubt they'll go with the ALL because we just had a guaranteed Void legendary summon, so I don't think they're gonna go with this at all. So if anything, we probably will see a guaranteed Sacreds or guaranteed Ancients from this month, which I think will lean towards these two. If they were to pick from Sylvan Watchers. But again, based off of the trajectory, right? We didn't see the first Shadowkin champion until 6 months after the release of the faction. So it's very possible that they might not go for a Sylvan Watchers champion here, right? It's all up in the air. So those are my thoughts on the trajectory as far as when they will release a guarantee summons event. And we actually should have gotten a guarantee Sacreds like last month, because I mean, it's been pretty consistent, right? As you can see here. Okay, aside from the first 8 here, it's been Ancient, Ancient, Void, Sacred, Ancient, Ancient, Sacred, Void, Ancient, Sacred, Ancient, Ancient, Sacred, Void, Ancient, Void. So what I think is there's going to be a guarantee Sacreds this month, because if you look at this past weekend, the amount of Sacred Shards that were pulled, the amount of extra Sacred Shard pack offers that they released for you to pull, it looks like it's going to be coming soon. They tend to go off of whatever's events are happening at the time, make you pull all those particular shards, and then drop one on you with the here's a guaranteed or here's an insane 10x we want you to pull more for. And at that point, a lot of us are already depleted on our Sacred Shards, like considering this week that just happened, right? The 2x Sacreds. And now they want us to buy more Sacred Shards to get our hands on a guaranteed Sacred Summons event. So those are my thoughts as far as what I think is going to happen. But going back to my original starting point here, I was talking about the fusion. A lot of you are wondering, should I go for the fusion? I mean, a lot of you are skipping out on the fusion anyways, but for those of you that were planning to go for the fusion, should I go for the legendary champion or should I say the epic champion? Because the epic champion is going to be great for the factions. Again, based off the trajectory, we're not going to be seeing the Shadowkin or the Sylvan Watchers faction for at least 6 to 9 months based off the trajectory. But during that time, I mean, there's going to be more Sylvan Watcher champions that comes out. There's going to be more opportunities to maybe pull some of these champions. And I mean, I do think saving one of them would be great. And it's kind of messed up that they didn't add an extra one to this Fusion Summons event, right? Because they always add an extra epic that you can go for, they could have a copy of, which is kind of weird, right? Very sus. So that was kind of the concern I had when I was originally looking at this champion, when I was debating if I wanted to go for the fusion or not on my free-to-play account. My main account I'm not worried about. I'm going to go for the fusion champion and I'm not worried about this guy at all. But on my free-to-play account, where I have to be extra more conservative, where I have to be extra more deeper thinking on what I want to do, right? Do I want to go for this fusion or do I want to save the epic champion? I think on my free-to-play account, guys, I'm still going to be going for this fusion champion because my undead faction is so bad. And here's what I'm thinking. I want to get this done, Faction Wars, out of the way before this faction even comes out. So if I go for this now, saying, okay, this guy is going to help me later down the line and help me get Lydia, or just to complete it rather, then I think for me that's just, I don't think that's a smart way of looking at it right now, because I think I have plenty of time on my free-to-play account to get my Lydia done, and my worst faction, one of the worst factions, is going to be undead. So I think this champion will help me a lot there, and I think right now, in the long term, I guess you could say the Ornn will help me complete the faction later. But in the short term, if I can get Lydia right now, I don't even care about anything else, right? Who cares? I don't care about getting this faction done later on my free-to-play account for now, because I want Lydia right now. That's all that matters to me. So those are my thoughts, guys. Hope you guys found this insightful. Hope you found this informative one way or another. And share your thoughts down below, guys. Are you still going to be going for this fusion champion, or are you going to be saving for the Ornn, from the Sylvan Watchers champion? So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you enjoy my content, please make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next video.